And we have a mechanic over here.
Yo, the Dickies too, bro. That wasn't intentional.
Watch out, fucking Gage Middle School unis.
Nah, it's a fire fit. It's a fire fit.
Wait,
fire,
what
yeah.
colors did you guys have for your
We used to
uniform?
wear the
Te
Dickies.
faltan las llaves, güey.
Pinche llavero? You would have that? Oh, but you're managing though, bro. So that kind of makes sense, you know?
Yeah.
I kind of
the-
miss having keys. I haven't had a key since I moved in. Your uniforms.
Our keys
Yeah,
gonna
we
get
would wear-
phased out. They are gonna get phased out.
I don't use a key for my car or to come in here. I have no keys.
I can't wait till wallets are fully phased out. AK like your ID. I know Apple's working on putting like the
identification on your phone.
on your phone. That's gonna be lit.
But people kind of already like, I've seen people take a picture of their ID and, oh, it's my ID.
I forgot
and people
it,
have
yeah.
actually like let them in. That's a fire ass lineup.
It's stacked, bro.
Remind me.
Chingy, Omarion.
Fabulous.
50 Cent?
Mario, Ja Rule. No 50 Cent.
Ashanti's gonna be there too, right?
She is?
I think she's gonna be there now, or my trip.
Maybe it should be a surprise
Yeah,
guest.
she's thick.
Low key.
I didn't realize how thick she was. I remember I went to New York. We went to go see. Remember Hot Summer Jam? We went to go watch. She came out and I hadn't seen her in years. I'm like, damn, bro,
Yeah.
this girl got real thickums.
Her and J-Lo growing up, bro. Those are like, ooh.
Was that the crush for you?
Yeah,
J-Lo?
both of you. Yeah.
Yeah, was that the one? I was big
Growing
on.
up?
Yeah.
Nah.
Who was your crush then growing up? Nah.
Who was my crush?
I had a really specific one.
I had like Christina Milian.
Christina Milian.
That's
I
a
had a
dip it
crush
low,
on
right?
her. Yeah.
Fire tune. That's a fire tune.
Oh, Also,
I'm like, why is he saying Diplo? He DJs, bro. Vida Guerra was one.
Chill,
Bro.
Hey.
My boy Fabs.
Yo, chill.
Yo, she was on every flyer for flyer parties.
Yeah.
That was
No.
the flyer party model.
She was on like a lot of homies like what like the
the
folders?
binders.
Remember the
Oh, I used to
bro.
love the binder collages, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, she was fire.
There was this movie I seen, Joan of Arc. I was like, man, this girl's so like she was so beautiful. I was like 10, bro. You know who Mila Jovovich is? She came out in was it Clockwork Orange? Did she come out in Clockwork Orange? She had like the orange hair.
Okay.
And her, bro, specifically for
Okay.
some reason.
Yeah.
her.
There was another one that she was an actor. Her name was Jessica. Fuck.
Not Alba.
No, she came
Not
out in a
Biel.
show that it was like a little bit paranormal activity. I don't know what it was.
Jessica Alba.
No.
Jessica Biel.
No.
They're all hot.
Jessica Biel was from
They're all
7
hot.
Jessica, was it like a TV show?
Love Hewitt?
Jennifer Love Hewitt. Jennifer Love Hewitt.
There's just a lot of Jennifers and Jessicas.
I think that
so
was
I
her,
don't know.
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
That's kind of
Not
true.
She
Jennifer
had like
Aniston.
curly hair a little bit.
Christina's.
Yeah,
a lot of
she was-
A
Christinas,
lot of
Jennifer's,
Christinas.
Jessica's.
A lot of Christinas too, bro. So, what's up, boys?
Been a minute. Since we've had a legit like check-in, catch up.
It has been a while.
Yeah.
What's the update? Where are you guys at?
Hit him with the lowlights or hit him with some highlights? Where do we start?
I say we start with the lowlights.
Yes.
You kind of
Hit the
rise up.
lowlights.
You kind of rise up.
Yeah, yeah.
Anybody want to share anything?
I feel like you want.
Do you guys want to share, or should we start off with just like, you know, how we've been? It's been a minute since we kicked it.
Yeah.
Should we just kind of start like how life's been?
I like that. A little rough overview and then kind of get to the
Yeah.
specifics of it all.
A little
Bet.
meta, high level view of life.
Bet,
Okay.
right.
Good idea, bro. I'll volunteer.
Hit us.
I'll go number one. I've been a lot better now. You know, obviously I've experienced the back injury and my nervous system was a little bit inflamed because the injury that I had was very close to the spine. So you guys obviously know this. I wasn't able to sustain myself up and like actually walk around. So the only time I was actually able to kind of get some relief is if I was completely horizontal.
Wow.
Right. So even driving was a mission. I had to accept the fact that I had to wear a back brace, you know, which was a little humbling. Kind of being, I'm only 32, bro. Like I didn't think that I was gonna be. It put this whole situation put a lot of perspective on like how fragile the body is, you know. So, but that going off, I guess just saying that I've felt like I've progressed enough. You know, yesterday I went to church. They had prayer night and. It's crazy, bro. Like even just the power of prayer. I had like an ache yesterday, and one of the homies there at church, like, you mind if I pray over you? I'm like, yeah. And she put her hand right where I was injured.
Oh.
And I didn't say anything. I'm like, I'm not gonna move. Right? Like, I'm not gonna move. What up, bud?
Let him know, dog.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
And so she put her hand and she went on this very deep prayer. I kind of fell into it, closed my eyes, and I submitted. I basically submitted myself to him. As she's praying, the ache starts to go away.
Wow.
Right?
Fuck yeah.
And then, obviously, very thankful. I thanked her. I hugged her. I'm like, appreciate you for like the hope you gave me, right? And then I got into this mode of like, to be here and sitting down and being able to walk around. I'm like, damn, I actually progressed like the last 7 weeks. So that's going on to say, like, my life has been very simple of just like laying down and resting and stretching and cooking. Like, I haven't really been outside all that much, but things are trending up, man. Like, he always checks in on me, like, where you at with the percentage? Like, and he asked me for the first time, like, how do you feel? I'm like, I'm probably like at 50%.
But
He's like, that's not good enough.
Yeah.
Right? And then he'll check in again, I'm like 55, okay, 60, 65. So right now I'll say
Let's get it at 80.
Probably like, yeah, right now I'm getting close to 80.
Let's go, baby.
Getting close to 80.
Let's go.
You know, I'm able to kind of like still run my dogs, but we're trending up. Like, I'm actually smiling, bro. Like, I didn't get all that much rest last night, but I feel like after going and like connecting with God, I just feel like I got like 20
Fills
hours
your
of
batteries,
sleep.
dude.
I want to underline like
Being in that
50
space.
things.
Yeah, me too.
First quick one is check in on your homies. Like, I
Yeah.
love that fucking Alberto. You're like, you
Yeah.
text him, you're like, where we at with the percentage?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I actually want to use that to tap you in on, we were outside earlier kicking it. You were talking about like a flat tire and the dentist. You made a really good point around like, bro, like, we can either spiral when things like this happen to us or just fucking accept that like these things are a part of life. Like, share a little more on that.
No, they
That's-
really are a part
yeah.
of life. Like, over the last 2 weeks, it's just been a constant like little hiccups and roadblocks within like the life that we live. And it was a combination of just little things, nothing compared to your level of kind of like having a physical injury that like it puts a toll on your day to day. But I think a lot of the times, like, we're just living through life and these things are going to happen that we have no expectation of them happening, whether you get a flat tire or you get a tooth injury and you have to have like an emergency visit to the dentist. And these things happen, and it's in our reaction to the thing that happens of how we're going to like move forward within our day. And I think what I highlighted with Frankie in the morning, I was like, a different version of myself, a younger version of myself would have like really, like, it would have really bothered me that I had to go to the dentist and like, oh, now I have to go out of my way to the dentist, spend money that I wasn't expecting to spend. And when we like take 2 steps back, we know these things are going to happen. We're going to get a flat tire. It's normal to get a flat tire.
There's going to be bumps in the road.
There's going to be a ton of bumps in the road. And it's like I felt grateful that I had the means to go get the tire fixed.
Yeah, that's
I had
it.
the
That's it.
I feel grateful that like I have the freedom within my job to set up the structure of my day to take 2 hours to go to the dentist and then finish my work and like build this beautiful thing around it. And I sat in the gratitude of that versus like letting it like take me off the path of feeling good. And yeah, it sucks to like something happen within your day that like you weren't planning to. But I think that's like highlights, like leave that little wiggle room. Like you need to leave a little wiggle room for like emergencies and time constraints that are going to like come up and emergencies with money and like all these things. So, yeah,
Bro, the spiral, I call it the spiral. It's easy to spiral when like we get a flat tire or we're feeling off. And like react negatively towards it. Like the example I'm thinking about, like last year when I experienced like one of my more like probably like the first ever serious like panic attack I ever had. I'll never forget, bro. Like I was sitting at my desk and it was like Tuesday. Let's say Wednesday. I remember Monday feeling like kind of off and being like, fuck. Like when I get really anxious, like I get like kind of like a feeling here in my face.
It always goes there. To the
That's
face.
where it tends to go, like here. And on Monday, I'm like kind of feeling that. I'm like, fuck, what the fuck? Tuesday, I'm like, damn, today, like my head just hurts in general. Wednesday, I have like more pain, like probably, it was probably on this right side. I remember sitting on my desk, bro, and then just getting like mad at that, being like, fuck, like, why for the fucking third day in a row am I feeling off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the spiral. Like from that's when the panic attack started, right? And again, it was because how I reacted, bro. Like if I would have just let the pain be and like, fuck, or I bet, like I probably just need more sleep. I need to drink more water. I should eat something. I would have been good, right? That's how I'm treating that shit now when it happens.
Yeah.
But the second like I got angry and frustrated at this thing is when we just spiraled.
And we're also something that I highlighted within this week of these like little things happening to me. We're also very conditioned to be influenced by people around us. So I'll double click on the things that happened throughout the week. On Monday, my building didn't have working water, and that in itself is a 30-minute conversation because we take for granted how easy it is to like open the faucet and wash the dishes and like flush the toilet and like shop, like all these things. And it just like put a big discomfort in my day because now I couldn't do things that I want to do. Oh, I can't go to the gym and like I can't do this, right? So that happened Monday. On Tuesday, we have this weird parking structure in the building. Long story short, someone backed up into me and broke my grill. So that's Tuesday. And then like Thursday, I get a flat tire, and now I'm at work, and one of the designers that I work for, he's like, "Oh my God, you've been having such a bad week. I'm so sorry." Like, and he was just saying how shitty it was. And I'm like, he was just like, "Oh my God, I feel sorry for you. And like, you must be so upset and you must be feeling," and I'm like, "I'm not, but you saying all this is making me feel that."
Why are you putting me in this position?
Yeah, he's like, he's kind of like painting how he would interpret all the situations and how much it would bother him. And I'm like, damn, should I be feeling bad? And like it started affecting me, like, right? It started affecting me. I'm like, it started like I started feeding off of that energy, and I'm like, no, like I'm good, bro. Like things happen. Like it was an accident. He backed up into my car. Unfortunately, he broke something. Like we're gonna, I'm gonna fix that. And then like, oh, I got a flat tire now, and like it was all these inconveniences of in 1 week, like a span of 3-4 days. But I'm like, bro, I'm not taking it. Like, I'm just taking it as part of life. I'm not taking it as like, it's upsetting me. And I think in that is like, no, just like take a step back, breathe, know that it's a process and it's just part, and then be grateful for the fact that you have the opportunity to fix things.
Yeah. It's, that by itself, right? Cause I feel like a lot of the experience and the value we get is from problem solving.
Yeah.
Like that's the point of maturing. You gain wisdom and you gain all this experience from solving problems. Yeah. So why is it that when we're in the middle of actually solving a problem, we have a lot of resistance to it? Yeah. Right. And what you were saying in regards to like, you had the anxiety, right? You had all these symptoms, and that by itself is already an issue, right? You didn't choose to have that issue, right? But then you start stressing over the fact that you have that. So now you're double stacking.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And now you're putting more weight on it. And now it's two things you got to solve. Yep. Yeah. Now, bear in mind, it's like you rather go one at a time. Yep. But sometimes when we're already like, because the thing is when you have that feeling, right? And I don't know if you've had a panic attack before, but for those who have had a panic attack, it's the one panic attack that takes you really deep, like down there, bro, where you're just like, you feel like you can't breathe. You got to go to the hospital. Your heart's racing. You feel like you're about to die, bro. It feels like for some reason, it feels like you're having a heart attack. Yeah. Right. That one bad panic attack that makes you completely disconnect from your body makes you feel like every single panic attack is going to get you there. Wow. And it's not, right? But if we start basically spiraling down and you start kind of like falling into it, then you start projecting that, you manifest that, and all of a sudden you're there. Yeah. And then it goes back to I should be feeling bad. Yeah. Now you shouldn't
bro.
Yeah, then you're being...
I shouldn't feel like, what the fuck?
Yeah, then you're being that own person to yourself. Like, yo, I feel bad you're going through this panic attack. Yeah. You know? Whereas opposed to like, this is what my reality is, right? And this is what it's supposed to be, and I accept it.
It kind of sucks. Like, the flat tire kind of sucks. The dentist kind of sucks. Yeah. But... man, I'm gonna just deal with it. Yeah. You know, like,
I do want to highlight the importance of being around and like the influence of your circle, right? So in that specific situation, in that example, like because he thought differently about like the little problems that came up in my life.
Yeah.
That was influencing me. And I think it's important to reflect on like, are the things around me influencing me to feel a certain way? Because we are so like, I don't know, like we carry off of energy of others, and like sometimes they complete our thoughts or they complete the way that we're feeling. And you just have to be very, very conscious of being surrounded by people that like, no, dude, it's cool. Like, it's fine. And to your point of the panic attack, is like, you need to have that support system that like, it's going to be fine. And you know, it's just stick with it.
Yeah. I think it's you have to find something that's consistent, right? Like right now, like my life completely just switched, bro. Like my routine was completely gone, right? And I think the one thing that kind of grounds us is finding something that's consistent in our life, right? So if you're having a bad week, there's something that's, a lot of things that are going wrong. The car, the water at the house, right? Like maybe they crashed through again, like whatever it is.
Yeah.
All these things that are in your life that have a bunch of consistency and regularity, the minute that's gone, you got to double down and find what's actually working on me. Okay, this is it. I'm going to just make sure I'm progressing in this, right? Because if you're not, if you just kind of go, man, fuck this, right? It's like if you're on a diet and Monday through Sunday, you're supposed to eat clean, but on Tuesday, you eat bad. Monday, you eat great. Tuesday, you eat bad. You're like, this whole week's a shit. Fuck this. Like, nah, you just ate bad that day. Get back on track.
Yup.
As opposed to just like, well, everything else is going to shit. Now this is going to go wrong. And then, of course, this is going to go bad.
Yeah.
It's just compartmentalizing that whatever that is, it's isolated. And sometimes a bunch of things start happening at the same time, but they're still just isolated events.
They're independent.
They're right? And it just happens to be that they're happy at the same time.
They happen that one week, right?
Exactly.
It's not like fucking life coming after you and has it out for you.
And even if it is, right, let's say even if it's in God's plan for you to kind of feel that way, it's like you're supposed to learn something from it.
Yep.
You're supposed to be reminded how to fix a tire. You're supposed to be reminded how to control your emotions because your car got hit, or how to appreciate water, right? Simple things like that. I couldn't walk, bro. All I wanted to do was just walk. I would walk. I watch people on TV.
That's insane.
And I'm just like, man, I wish I could just walk.
That's insane.
Because I would go by windows.
That's insane.
I would stand up, and then after an hour, my back would ache, and I'm like, oh, I gotta lay down again. Damn. And it's like small things, bro. Just really small things that we fail to appreciate. But injuries, at least for me, have always put that perspective in me.
There's so many forks I want to take it, but go ahead.
It's when we have those basics taken away, water, walking, that we're fucking most grateful for them, right? The one thing I want to hit on too in your initial share was you talking about like going to church, right? And God. And then right now you just mentioned this you need to find something that can be consistent when you're like in the shit or in a spiral or in a tough period.
Yeah.
And fucking the one easiest thing to be consistent, God. You're like faith, right?
Man.
Like that's the one thing. He's always there. You can come back to that whenever the fuck you need to.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's just once, bro, like I think that's what I love about going to mass so much. Like it's just that one time a week, if at least, right? Obviously you want to be doing this more often, but once a week, you're going to this space where everyone's in the same spirit. Everyone's there like seeking help, seeking support, wanting to help others.
Such a beautiful experience, man.
You're just in the presence of God, and that's all you need, bro. It makes you pause to check in to see what I'm grateful for. You're asking where I need a little help with everyone else there, bro. That's why I get there and I bawl, and I don't even I know why, because I'm in his presence, but I don't even bawl because of a specific thought. I'm just like, duh. But yes, all that to say, when you're in the shit, when you're in a tough period, the one thing you can always go back to is God. That can be the one thing that can be consistent.
And let's double click on the word of God, right? Because I think that a lot of people get put off by the idea of like religion because they think of a God and it doesn't connect with them. And the story of Jesus doesn't connect with them. And the way that the structure of the church doesn't connect with them. But I think like, use God and then replace it with anything that you want to replace it with. You want to replace it with like the frequency of the universe and just feeling good, connected, grounded, aligned. Replace it with whatever you wish. But the fact that like you're giving yourself the space to sit with yourself, reflect, be grateful, I think like at its core, that's where religion is.
Yeah.
And I think that's the important thing that we want to highlight because someone might hear God and I'm like, I don't know how I feel about God. And I don't know how that feels and like connects with me. Maybe they didn't have a good relationship with like religion growing up because it was forced upon them or whatever it might be. But I think now it's like, I want to be aligned. I want to be grounded. I think that a lot of people are coming to the conclusion that like everyone's connected and like there's this energy that exists within the universe. Yeah. And I think that's something to sit with and like, okay, cool. Like all these things are happening with my life and I'm just going to sit and like ground myself and align to who I am and my authenticity. And like, I'm going to carry myself with that energy. And you could go to church and you can also not connect with everything that's being said. And that's fine. And like you find your own metaphors within what they're speaking of. And you make it work for yourself. And I think that's something that like not a lot of people are talking about. Like, yeah, like you might not connect with everything and that's fine, but like make it work for you. Just like how we do with everything else. Like you don't agree with everything everyone says, but you make it like you find your own connection and you make it work for yourself. And I think I want more and more of people kind of just thinking about things like that way.
The other thing I want to say here is I remember being in church once and a priest saying, like, we're on the topic essentially of like going to mass and maybe not getting this fire message, this fire gem. And then the analogy he gave is like, think about like every meal you've had in your life. Did every single one of those schmack fucking top 10 out of 10 meal? No. I mean, yeah, there's some fucking dope meals, right? But like, you're going to go to, there's times where I go to mass and I don't feel shit, right? But that's fine. I was sustained, you know, like I received the body of God and I was sustained that week. It wasn't a fucking smacky meal, but it sustained me. Yeah. So that's one thing. Like, not everything's going to fucking schmack. And by the way, don't just apply that to faith. I think you can apply that to anywhere, right? Yeah. Like, not every day at work is going to schmack. Not every trip is going to schmack. Like, so there's going to be some really dope trips. There's going to be some mediocre trips. And the other piece on this was, back to the idea of like, especially with faith, I think you're going to get more from it the more you put in, right? We hear that kind of usual cliche all the time, right? It's like, the more you like invest in something, the more you're going to get from it. Right. And like, you know, if you're going to church initially, you said you might not vibe with it, or maybe you need to find a new community, a new church, or homies to go with. Right. Like it's things good. All good things take time, right? Whether it's a job, whether it's faith, like you got to invest in it before you really start to reap the returns of it.
Yeah. 100%. And I want to go back to like the point you made where, you know, you are surrounded by your environment and they exacerbated whatever your week was. Right. But then there's also like a positive note to that. And this is where I'm going to give both of you guys flowers, right? I wasn't going to church. I haven't been to church by myself. I've never went to church by myself ever prior to this year. We're walking tomorrow and we seen this like Los Angeles church sign. Or whatever. And then you took a picture and you're like, we should go check that out. I'm like, you go to church? Yeah, I've tried a couple out here. I'm like, what? Like, I didn't even, I'm like, okay. And didn't think nothing of it, bro. Yeah. And then, you know, we started training. We started chopping it up. And I asked you, like, how was your week? Like, what did you do over the weekend? Oh, Saturday we did this, me and the wifey, you know. And then Sunday we went to church. You went to church? And all of a sudden I was being exposed to church because of you guys. As adults, experience it by yourself. And I never, ever would have fathomed that people voluntarily, in our generation, go to church. Yeah. Right? And you guys exposed me to that. And I think it was this May, we were talking about this yesterday, you know, where we went to church and I've never experienced like, cause my disconnect with going to church was, you know, I went to a Catholic church with my mom and there's such a big age gap. Yeah. Right. Yeah, it's, you know, 20, 25, whatever the age is. And then like the people running the church are like 60, 65 and it's very old school and great, that's what I grew up with. That's what I'm comfortable with. But for some reason,
it's also maybe in a different religion that you're like not maybe connecting with the message because it's maybe in Spanish and like
the language is huge.
The language also changes something because we think and maybe we carry ourselves in English. Yeah. Sorry.
No, está bien. But like even then, like it's like I understand it. Obviously, like hablando español, like obviously I get the message, but I just think it wasn't tailored. Like it's just like music. Church is like music. Sometimes you connect to hip hop, but maybe you don't click with this artist, you click with this artist,
Yeah.
right? Still hip hop, but very different like versions of
Yeah.
what the music was. So I pull up to church, you know, and bro, I started just bawling on the first song of worship, right? And I'm like, oh, this is what I was missing. So for me to actually like feel that, and all that's coming from both of you,
Yeah.
right? So there is positives and negatives of being, I guess, being affected by whoever you're around, right? And you know, thankfully, you guys have been able to kind of expose me to things that I probably wouldn't have by myself like been open to. So
Flowers received.
yeah,
bro.
bro,
Thank you.
honestly.
Yeah, received.
No, and that just kind of like reiterates the importance, right? Like take a little report card of your circles, and are they bringing you closer to the identity that you want to be? Are they bringing you closer and encouraging you to explore like positivity versus holding you down or not being really good influences? So I think that's a good like reflection for everyone to kind of just sit and like, is this serving me? You know, I think in life, what I've realized is that we change a ton. Like, I feel like you're not the same person that you were 2 years ago, even 6 months ago, like reflecting on the fact that like now you're going to church and you're more in tune with the spirituality of life. Sometimes we have relationships and like they no longer serve us, and that's fine. Now you're just going to have to choose how much you're going to be exposed to it and how you're going to move forward and how you're going to carry yourself in that relationship. And are you really going to give it that much time that maybe it shouldn't have as much time as you gave it before? And it's important.
I used to get really hung up on that, bro. Like, I love that you bring this up on like ending relationships, if you will. Like, not romantic. I guess it applies to both, right? Romantic.
Yeah, 100%.
And what's the other word for Rita said it before?
Platonic.
Platonic. I just learned that. I
Platonic.
didn't know that's what the other type of relations were. But I
Flatos.
digress. I'd be like, damn, I'm bummed. We don't kick it with them that much anymore. And then Myra, my wife, actually helped me realize it, right? She's like, yo, like, you got to be okay with like, yo, that relationship ended like for XYZ reasons. I mean, that's cool.
For you to be able to say wife, that's so dope to like, like that's so.
I wasn't sure if I should
like,
say it in this space, but
Like no, bro, no.
It's your truth.
it is. It is.
Like
truth.
relationships ending, and it's like it's everything happens for a reason, man. And just because the relationship ended, or people grew apart, or maybe you're taking time away from each other, it doesn't mean that you didn't appreciate or you didn't value what you had, right?
Yep.
And like not everything is supposed to last forever. Technically, realistically, here on Earth, nothing lasts forever.
Correct.
Our
Nothing.
bodies,
It's a fact.
Nothing.
Straight up.
our
Yeah,
bodies disappear, like buildings and structure will disappear in thousands of years, but that doesn't mean that what was lived wasn't valued. I think the beautiful thing about relationships is the ending. Like there's an ending to it. There actually is, right? And be it might be
Like romantic relationships.
no everything.
Okay.
That applies to both.
Yeah.
Like, even like, you know, I've had like a couple friends, you know, unfortunately lose like their parents, right? And they've kind of gone through like grief and experiencing loss. And they can obviously, as they're grieving, but they have like this moment of reflection once they kind of like see a little bit of clarity. Like, damn, my mom was good to me. Like, yeah, I missed her, but damn, my mom was good. And then it becomes this like appreciation of
chills,
everything
bro.
that they
Fuck yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
And then that kind of puts you in this position of like, I'm in this relationship with my mom and she's still here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to enjoy this as much as I can because I know there is an ending to this. Right. Right. And a lot of people can hopefully like be in a position where you actually sit still and be present and experience that. Right. Because, you know, usually we end up like disconnecting from certain friends, but at the end of the day, like, even though they were in your life for a year, 2 years, they helped you get somewhere.
Yeah.
And you helped them get somewhere.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. They're doing life without you, right? But at one point, they still carry a piece with you,
Yeah.
right? And you carry a piece of them, you know? So, I don't know. I just might take that.
What's this book? Matt Haig, Haig. He has this line in there.
Haig?
Matt Haig, Haig.
Okay.
what's the book? The Comfort Book, it's called. And it's dope. It has like a bunch of like, it's super short, easy to read because it's like a bunch of little like mini essays or even like 2 paragraphs. But he has a line in there where he talks about like the ending, right? And he's like, the trick with like the end, aka like death of yourself or of others, is being reminded that shit, like, I'm mortal. I'm gonna die one day. And like using that to like live life more fully. But then it's important to like also not get caught up in the ending, right? Because then we're being not present and to only think about like what's gonna happen when my mom passes or when I pass. Then that's like living in the future, right? And not being present. So it's just like word, like, no, that shit's gonna end, everything. Use that to let you live fully, but also don't let that fucking consume you with not being present.
You know what's a crazy idea that I've been kind of entertaining, and like I'd love your guys' 2 cents on. There's these older versions of ourselves that like the image that we see of ourselves. And I think something that I'm sitting with is now that the age that I'm in and different career, living in a different location, I think that it's important for you to kind of not disassociate, but like sometimes we have like this like mental framework of how we see ourselves, and you have to update that kind of on a not like regular basis, but hey, I used to be really insecure about this, or I used to feel like multiple conversations that we've had in the past of like, oh, like I felt like I wasn't an adult, or I felt like I was like I didn't belong in this room, and I like, no, like that's crazy. That is not the truth, and that doesn't exist anymore. And I do feel like I deserve this, and I do feel like I deserve to be in this room, and I do deserve to have an opinion and a voice. And I think when you're just living life like kind of just without intention and not really sitting and kind of like taking that mental report of how you're viewing yourself, it's easy to carry life and move many, many years with this same constraint of like, oh, I don't deserve this, or I like little examples like that. Like there's so many. And I want to do it better. I want to like update my software quicker. And it's, I don't know, it's just like, it's just interesting. I love your guys' like,
so you're saying the advice here is like, check in more on like how you've changed, the new version that you are. That's what you're generally saying, right?
Yeah.
And then tell me more on like this. You when you started this, you framed it like as an idea. I want to bounce this off y'all. Like, are you asking how can you do this more? How can we do this more? Like, say a little more.
Let's use this as an example.
Okay.
3 years ago, I would be like, no, I'm not one to sit in a group and have a conversation and carry value to like talk in front of a camera and talk in front of a mic. And because of you guys, that's changed my idea of who I am and what I bring to the table. So like that as an example, there's the example is like, that's not me.
Correct.
Or I don't deserve this. And I think it's in you flipping the switch of how you feel about certain situations. And I'm like, yeah, this is me. Maybe I could take off my shirt and go into the pool and not feel insecure. And like, there's these insecurities that we have in life that we've had them for 10 years and we think that we need to have them for 15. Yeah. And it's not true. Like it's not serving you anymore. Yeah. And maybe you've done the work to represent yourself and your identity differently. And like, let's change that. Like,
I think a lot of that, it comes from taking risks, right? And putting yourself in a position to feel
just like in the action, right?
Yeah. Right. Because the whole like feeling like you're out of place in a new environment, like, oh, I don't belong here. I'm not supposed to be here. You're there. Like you're there already. And a lot of it is just being comfortable with feeling uncomfortable, right? It's like being hired at a new job. You're the new person. Like everybody here has experience and they have a lot more, I guess, tools to maneuver in that environment because they've been exposed. But at one point, they were the new kid. They were the, what is this? Do I fit in? Am I good at this? Am I not getting it right? But go look for the job.
No, I love that you highlight that because it's true. Like it's really resonating the way that you're saying it. It's in the action and in the experience that you remove that negative or not serving identity that you had attached to yourself.
But it's taking the risk.
Correct.
That's the biggest
You gotta
resistance.
take a risk.
That's life's a risk, carnal.
Yeah.
But I think it's if you practice a lot of mindfulness, right, and you put yourself in a position where hopefully you're programming yourself with being uncomfortable always means growth, always.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you'll know, your body will tell you when you're being stagnant, when you're like, I just feel like I got to do something. Like, go find something that, even going to a new coffee shop.
Well, that's the thing. Both of them are stressful. Both of them cost internal something. When you're not doing anything, and when you do stuff for the first time, they both carry some level of discomfort. Because you don't feel good with yourself when you're not doing anything. Like, you also feel that. So why not choose the one that's going to give you more growth, and like you're experiencing more out of it and you're growing from it? You just have to be intentional.
Yes, and I agree with everything we're saying. 2 points. Point one. So yes, take the risk. That's how you like become and form into this new identity. Number two, I think it's like it's being back to this idea of community and who's around you, right? Like surrounding yourself with people that are gonna give you flowers and say like, bro, like your new career, like that's who you are. You're
And
a fucking
encourage you, yeah.
design manager, right? Like you're running a studio. Like having people around you that are gonna give you your flowers, that's gonna help you say, oh shit, like
Yeah.
I'm gonna come back to that one.
I am fucking this badass now. This one's probably gonna switch, so please hold that thought. But what I do just want to say, because you laid out two scenarios. You said you can sit and like not do shit and you feel crappy about that, and then when you're like grinding to grow, then it hurts. But you're kind of saying they both hurt. I just want to like small counter take here. I also just want to acknowledge and say that there's nothing wrong with like coasting and enjoying the view for a little bit.
100%.
It's like, it's very, I'm just going to call it capitalist.
But
right?
only if you're
To
enjoying the view.
grow, right? Like we got to grow, we got to develop, we got to change.
Grind culture is bad. Like, yeah, it's debatable. Yeah.
So yes, I just want, like, again, this is someone that fucking, I admit, probably grinds too hard, works too hard, thinks a little too much all the time. But I just want to acknowledge that, like, yes, we should always be growing. Two, don't feel, I guess the main point I'm trying to say is like, don't feel like shit if you want to coast and enjoy the view for a bit. Like, it's okay to not be pushing and growing like every single day.
100% agree.
I just want to acknowledge that.
100% agree. 100% agree.
You got to take a moment to recharge.
Yeah.
Like, you really have to. And I'm all for
But
that.
the recharge and the enjoying the view comes when you've done a little bit of hard work.
Correct. Yeah, I'm not saying don't work for shit.
If you've been stagnant for 8 months,
Correct.
bro, you should feel like shit. No, honestly, because you should feel like shit.
Shit. 8 months.
No. Like, you're not a piece of shit. You're not. No, yeah, because that's your internal check engine light. That's your internal check engine light that you need to take action.
Bet it is.
Like-
Word.
Just like how when we step to an uncomfortable situation or a new environment and you feel that discomfort, that's a good signal that you're doing something new and that you're growing.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Versus,
Yes.
and so that you have to like distinguish the two, because it's like you're doing something new, you're feeling the growth, and then also 8 months feel like shit, and that's telling you they need to take action. You're in a shitty relationship. That feeling that you're getting inside of like, I'm not happy, and like, damn, like I'm like, that's your check engine light to like, bro, it's time to end the relationship. It's not serving you anymore.
Yeah.
You outgrew it. Things changed. There was a fork, and you know, you guys went your separate ways. But like, don't ignore the check engine lights. A huge conversation that we could have, but like a lot of people ignore check engine lights because of substance abuse. Like
It numbs them.
they numb it,
Yeah.
and like substance abuse could be like downing it with just like video games or drugs or like alcohol or like always going out and like all these things. But that's like, but yeah, don't numb it, like feel it. And
I want you to hit your point.
No,
I
go
just
ahead.
want to underline this piece here. I love this check engine lights. I love that idea, bro. Like our mind, our body is always giving us feedback.
They always know,
like when
bro.
you're feeling a little lazy because it's been 8 months, I haven't done shit. You're feeling that because your mind and your body's telling you, yo, let's do something. On my end, like I shared earlier, I'm feeling like a little like face feelings, feeling a little anxious. That's my body telling me, yo, check engine light. You need to sleep a little more. You need to go for a walk. You need to drink more water. The check engine lights. Fuck yeah. That's it.
But think about that, bro. All this, the whole check engine light, you have to have a relationship with yourself to know that.
Oof.
You talked about the whole coasting, right? Cool, enjoy the view. But if you don't know how your body reacts and how your I guess your routine is taking you, how it makes you feel, if you're not paying attention to that, you end up coasting off the road.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like all of a sudden there's no more view. Now you're just coasting.
And you're crashing.
Yeah. You have to be able to like I think the disconnect here is sometimes we don't know when that pocket of coasting ended. Right? And I think if you have a relationship with yourself, right? If you're meditating, you're reading books, you're chopping it up with people, then now you have the insight to like, this doesn't serve me anymore. And I'm not going to wait to be forced out of this environment. I'm going to make the choice to leave this environment. Right.
I'm gonna tie it back into the spiritual conversation that we had in the beginning, but it's exactly on what you said. You have to give yourself the space,
man,
to sit with yourself, reflect, get grounded, be spiritual, whatever that might be in your version of it, like meditate, whatever. Because in that you're gonna get the answers, and you have to be intentional about giving yourself that space of just kind of slowing down and like, am I happy with my finances, or am I happy with my friends, my relationships with my friends, or am I happy with my romantic relationship? And there's these like, you have to just kind of sit with that and like take a little progress report.
Yeah, legit sit with it, bro. Like what something I'm trying to integrate. I haven't done it yet. Like as the next chapter in my relationship with God in my life, in my faith life, is literally, bro, just going to church and just sitting there. Like not when there's mass, like just going to church and just sitting there.
New experience.
Like just for 30 minutes. Like think about how like trippy that sounds. Like how I'm making it like
should do it on
it's
mushrooms.
So
that should be a real experience. That'd be a real experience.
Yeah. Let me give me this up real quick, God. Like let me
but literally sit with it, right?
Yeah.
To go sit down and just fucking, again, it doesn't have to be at church, right? But like what, like not just reflecting as you're at
do
work.
Some yoga at
just
the park.
fucking
Do whatever
sit down for 30 minutes in the park at church and literally just fucking sit.
Yeah.
What a novel idea, huh?
I love that. If there's, let's say if we were able to walk away from this conversation, dropping 2 things we either want to work on or 2 things that you've been affected with, what's something that you would want to share? Right. And it could be one of each, you know?
I'm gonna highlight the importance of just kind of the 2 cents on the last message you said. Give yourself the space to figure out what you want, right? Give yourself the space to feel your body and understand what it needs, because it more likely than not, like you already know what you need to do. You already know what you need to act on and what you need to subtract. You just sit with it so you could like, write it out, like build off of the idea and massage it a little bit to really feel concrete of like what you want to take action on, but just like giving yourself the space to sit.
Yeah.
And, I'm going to connect the mine's yours. Something that gives you, that's a signal for the space to sit is the check engine light. And that's the one I'm taking away. I love a good analogy that makes it really practical, right? Yeah. So like that's the one I'm taking with me is like, listen to the check engine light. You're feeling a little off. Don't get mad and feel frustrated about like, what the fuck is this? Why is my back hurting? Why is my face feeling this? It's just a check engine light. It's just a light telling you, take a look at this.
I'm going to go back to like the first example that I gave of like getting a flat tire. If the flat tire bothers you so much that you got a flat tire and you know that these things are going to happen in life, maybe it's the check engine light that you need to like dial in your personal finances because you don't have like the means to fork out $200 on a new tire. So it's like things are going to happen in life. You don't know what's going to happen. They're going to be unexpected, but it's going to give you a check engine on what you need to, like, depending on your reaction, it's going to give you a check engine of what you need to apply a little bit more focus on.
Yeah. I think if I was to add on to crazy, because it's all connecting, right?
Oh, I love it.
Right. And for me, it's just accepting that you have one more task to do. Like it's, sometimes you're going through the day, I'm going to go get coffee, I'm going to go get this, and accepting I have to change my tire today. Or I have to stretch a little bit more.
I gotta
Or-
call the dentist. Fuck.
Yeah.
I gotta make an appointment bet. Just one
Like
more
there's
task.
times where I'm doing laundry, right? Specifically when I'm doing laundry and I'm getting all the socks and then I'm trying to make sure I don't drop anything and I'm carrying it over to the basket and then one sock drops and it's like I gotta accept the fact that I gotta bend down and pick it up, right? And I think obviously the position that I've been put in now, I gotta accept it's just one more task. It's okay, it's just one more task. And it's okay to like not have expectations of what your day's supposed to look like. Have hopes for how it's supposed to go, but yeah, just accept that it's just one more task you got to do. That's all it is, bro. It really is just one more task, and it's one more problem for you to solve to get more wisdom, to gain more experience, so you can then be of more value to other people. Because once I get through this, and I will get through this. Is now I can relate to other people.
Yeah.
Now I can share my experience.
Have some fire and gems to share.
Yeah.
bro. So I think this is kind of a good place to kind of cap it off, boys.
Good shit, boys. That was fun.
Yeah,
That was
man.
a lot of fun.
Fuck yeah.
So let's kind of just step away from this and just kind of just tackle the week.
Let's go.
All right, let's go.